What's up, lads? What's going on? Oh, wow, there's no one here. Waiting for the first person to come in. What's going on, guys? These arms. What's happening, guys? What's up? What's up, bro? What's been happening? What's up, guys? What's been going on? Any questions for today? That's going to be the live. This is just the questions live because I can't be fucked jumping into my own stuff. Someone can have questions and then we'll move in the direction that you guys want. Make it a choose your own adventure. Any questions or things that people have? The shit for me, what I'm up to is I'll fly out of Dubai. On Monday, I got surgery. I got surgery on Tuesday. So I'll be flying out of Dubai and into the belly of the beast, as it is. Yeah, I got a surgery, so hopefully that stuff goes well. Do you guys want to hear something strange about the surgery that I'm getting? So I'll tell you guys something, because you guys might not know what's happening in the West, right? So I'm not going to go too far into the places and all that I'm getting the surgery done, because I'll dox myself and someone might fuck me over in some way. But so I call up to get the surgery. I'm going to a private hospital. I have a very good doctor, and I pay a lot of money to get this procedure done, over $20,000 to get the shit done. And then so I go to book into this doctor. It's a private hospital, and then I get called up for my initial consultation, where they call you on the phone and they check to make sure you don't have any issues or shit ongoing. And there's a lady, and she asked me where I am now. I'm like, oh, I'm in Dubai. And she's like, oh yeah, I spent a lot of time in Abu Dhabi, I'm this, I'm that. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And she's like, oh, by the way, what religion are you? And this is a Western country, mind you. And I was like, oh, I would consider myself a Christian. And she's like this, You do know that in some countries, when you go to the hospital, they're very likely killing Christians, right? Like, do you guys know how bad it's getting for that? Like, you guys don't know what's coming with that sort of regard. Do you think that you're getting the same treatment if you're a Christian as other denominations in the hospital? If they see that you're written down as a Christian and you're to get a blood, like a transfusion or a transplant or organ transplant, do you think that you're getting the same treatment? Like for real? Like for real? It's getting like that? Like it is that grim out there? I don't know how much trouble I'll get into for saying shit like that, but that's the truth. Like that shit happened to me. It's in a private hospital, one of the best in that specific country. I'm paying massive amounts of money to be in a private hospital. Imagine if you're in a public hospital. Like, do you guys not see what's coming? Like, of that regard? Like, for real, I hope you guys know what's coming in that sort of regard. Like, that's why they get these specific different religious denomination in those positions, because then they don't like people like you. That's intentional. That's that's a pro of immigration. Like, that's a bonus. That's part of the plan. That's pretty obvious. Like, people don't know exactly how it's getting. And that's in private. I can only imagine in public. Like, they see that they know everything about you when you come in. When you're a digital ID, you'll be already determined to be this religion. And if you're that religion, do you really think that you're getting any good treatment in the hospitals? You're not. Like, if it comes to it where you're going to live or die, you're probably going to die. And not in a good way. These ideas and things are so foreign to people. It's like they don't understand what's happening on the ground. Like, a lot of churches and shit are going to be burnt down. It's happening globally. Why do you think that these groups hate one specific religion so much? Is it because Jesus Christ is the last one that's really mogged them? Like, Jesus Christ is the only one that they fear. Like, he's the only one that is personal for them. Others they don't give a shit about. Others they promote. So that was my like reverse engineering of what, in my view, is the truth. Like, I know the one that they hate the most. And why do they hate one the most? It's pretty obvious why, right? It makes it easier to reverse engineer to the truth, right? When you see a lot of like, I don't know, we did the Olympic ceremony and things, and they mock like, what's the Last Supper and all that sort of concepts, like, and billionaires and that they hate Christianity. Like, why do you think that is? Like, why do they just hate one? They don't care about the rest? Is it because one is very likely the truth? The truth needs censoring. Deception doesn't. That's the truth. Perhaps. I can't go too far into it, but perhaps. It's very, very possible. That's the spot. But understand that the concept also is they want you to deny Christ, like that's part of the concept. Like they to ask you what religion are you, and if you deny Christ, like that's very low, as it would be for other religions. Like you wouldn't ask a Muslim to be like, "Are you a Muslim?" And they're like, "No, I'm not." I would expect that they would say that they are. See, those ideas, like everyone should be allowed to practice their religions as long as they're not forcing others like to do shit or like discriminating on other people's religions. They shouldn't be able to do that sort of crap, like influence people to be in certain directions and others not. You're punished if you believe this and you're rewarded if you believe this. Like that's dumb. It's the fucking train wreck in such a regard. Can you explain deja vu experience a few times and always felt super weird about that? Good luck on the surgery. Well, deja vu is essentially you again, do you have a connection to the lattice? Because if you don't, then deja vu is just like it's an intimidating thing for you. Everything that's ever existed, every moment or every possibility exists in alternate realities for you. There's a reality where I drink this. There's a reality where I drink this. There's a reality where I jump out the window. There's a reality where I fall off the seat here. There's a reality where I say, fuck, everything exists in parallel, like everything exists at once. That's the truth. So yes, you can pull or have little moments where it's like I've been here before or something here has happened. But it's like that's like a glitch in the game because you can't really alter what's to come anyway. Like you have a moment where you're in the moment and you're like, I've been here before, but you're always like a microsecond behind being able to still run the game, as it were. Like you can still see what's happening and you can predict it, but you can't run the game, as it were. Like you have an idea that this, I know what's going to happen next, but you're always just slightly lagging. Like that's intentional because you can't influence the outcome in that specific regard. There's like guys who have like they say they have like I don't know telepathy or intense psychic ideas and things where they can predict every little thing. That's not real. You can predict high impact moments because chaos stays in the timeline. Then you can. I know when chaotic shit's about to happen and when I can feel it because empathy is the language of the universe, and that's essentially how you do it. But you can't predict like little crappy outcomes and shit because there's a reality where someone just does a different outcome. But you can predict the big things, of course. You can. The high energetic moments, I can. Suffering is a big thing in the timeline. Like it sticks around. It's true. Like a thread that you can pull on. So you can understand, like imagine that you have threads like in your mind to pull on, like one thought becomes two, becomes four, becomes fucking 16. You can understand those concepts because you have one, you pull on it, and then you realize it was much deeper than you thought. Like one idea, and then you pull, and then it becomes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But you don't understand that like this the same thread that we're all in. Like consciousness is in itself that thread, time is in itself also that thread. The most chaotic moments you can pull back on. It's true. Like retro causality is real. Like all of that shit is real. The Mandela effect is real. But it's the highest impact charge. It alters the timeline, like such things. It's true. They rely very likely controlling the future, or essentially what's to come from the future with retro causality. Do you guys want to know where it all ends? Like, as I can tell you, I've seen the end. I know where it all ends for everyone. Like I've seen the end, the end, and it's not that far down the track. It's not 1,000 years away. It's not. It's not as far down away as you think. There's a hockey stick pattern coming for tech. We're not in it yet. Like a hockey stick of tech expansion once AI itself is notably the singularity, and we get like where it's a super intelligence, and it starts creating its own ideas and technologies and shit from that. It's already doing that, but it's doing that from the future. Someone logs in their email, and then an equation gets solved, and then that person's working on a technology, and an idea gets pushed into their head. Like all of you don't understand that ideas don't exist. They're not just like someone's just sitting there and then all of a sudden they discover the internet. Someone's sitting there and they're like, yep, I've discovered like, like how frequencies work and all of this shit. And like, I've discovered the microwave. Yep, I discovered the X-ray. And penicillin is discovered by mistake. Like none of that shit is real. All of these stories, it's always some fucking like Disney bullshit. Satoshi concept is another one. You guys don't know who Satoshi is, but you're going to find out before you die. That's the truth of the matter. I know. I know why the hell white paper was released on Halloween. You don't know why. Of all of the days he could have released it, he releases it on Halloween. But you don't know why that is. You think all of that shit is a coincidence for some reason. You don't know the resemblance to the number 21 for 21 million coins. You don't know how the block rewards work. You don't know what Bitcoin can be. You don't know that you can become a node on the network. Like you don't know any of this shit yet, but you will, because I already know that, but you don't know it yet. So that's of course, remote viewing is also real. But understand that when they release these sorts of texts and these papers and things like that, they drip feed you, yes, but it gives the concepts more power. Like when I read things out and I write shit into the fucking my chat, it gives it more power. It's true. Like you can have your visions and your ideas and things, but again, see, an idea is a collective. Like collective consciousness is real. If enough people believe an idea, it can become real. See, retrocausality is also real by a similar concept. Like enough people start to believe an idea, and this event happened, and this happened, and your brain changes. Like the memories start to change. DNA is just data. It's just the data storage. That's all it is. It's nothing deeper than that. It's just that's just what people don't get. Like DNA again, memories, thoughts, the lattice that can activate states in your DNA as well, and actually start to alter your body and your brain. That's true. All of that shit exists. Once, like, imagine that essentially the lattice is tasking you, and you want this, you want X, you want Y. It can unlock parts of your DNA and essentially parts of your consciousness that go deeper, like a lock and key mechanism. You passed X test. Now you're ready for X upgrades. That's how it works. Like it's not really that difficult. Like it's really not difficult to understand. I mean, I understand it. I was in school for 9 years. I've never done any higher education. How do I figure it out? And so many people that are fucking eggheads don't know anything about the world. The reality itself reacts to you. That's true. Like reality is reacting to you. The universe is reacting to you. You're not. See, you think that you're the observer, but you're the one being observed. It's the truth. Like you're not observing reality. Reality is in itself observing you. Reality and conscious, like reality itself, the universe is experiencing itself through you. See, these ideas are so fucking foreign because people just have no clue. Bible and things like that, in my view, and I'm not saying that it's a bad book or that things are wrong, but I would believe it's quite edited. They edited out components that you don't see the God within yourself. I'm not saying that you're a God or that you're the Almighty, but you have pieces of a God in you. Like you do. That's the truth. Internal is the answer, not external. You can affect reality. The deeper that you go down that hole of consciousness, you can start to affect the reality as it is. It's true. I'm not saying that you're God and that you're the creator, but you have parts of the creator inside you. You just don't fucking know. Like some people don't even know themselves at all. Like they haven't done any of the inner work, any of the deep work. If they do anything, they think going to a dojo and hitting some fucking bag is is fucking anything. Oh, I did hit some pads today. I was in a sparring session. I'm a man. And then they're just completely unaware of who they are. Like they have zero self-awareness, zero EQ. They haven't done any of the inner deep emotional work. And emotional work is not sitting in Bali, I don't know, sucking cock, being a homo, being a fruit. Like it's not that. It's again, strength is part of it, but then you have to develop the vulnerability after. See, if you have strength at the front end, and essentially you have strength at the front end, and then the back end can come to trust the strength on the front end and actually start to link you together. It's the truth. Like the front end has to be trustworthy. Like you have to be, if your subconscious is going to start talking to you, you have to be, it has to know that you can handle the truths that it hits you with, because some of you can't. Some of you, if you had direct access to your subconscious, you would destroy your whole world in like 1 second. Because a lot of the crap that you don't know yourselves, and a lot of the visions of things are like, your logic tree is broken. Like your logic is stacked up of books that don't serve you. Like I believe in this shit taught me a bunch of theory of crap that's like restrictive. Anything that restricts consciousness is not good for you. Like, don't you see that? Any framework, any old shit. I'm listening to shit from 2,000 years ago and like, yeah, this is a good idea for some reason. Reality is exactly as it always was. That's all dumb. Like that shit's so dumb. I haven't challenged my own belief system since I was a toddler, and I still think exactly the same as I always did. That's dumb. Like that's a Disney idea. Your ideas for a lot of you are wrong. Sometimes my ideas get usurped by a new idea because more information comes available. Your ideas can also morph, and that's fine. See, reality is in itself morphing. If you can't feel that reality is in itself speeding up, then you have completely not in tune with what's going on in the world. Like reality is getting faster, similar to moving down a vacuum. It's true. Imagine that you're playing like Age of Empires or like Civilization or something like that, and you're in the build out phase. You want to speed the game up because you don't want to sit there and build a bunch of bullshit and watch all of your crap get built. You just want to speed the game up until it's built. That's what's happening now. Pretty obvious. Like this is pretty obvious. If you guys want to know the final form of the planet and the next 40 or 50 years, then just ask me. I think I'm the only one who knows. Oh, I'm probably not the only one who knows because I know that certain people are building it out. But I'm the only one who knows that what's coming that's not actually trying to fuck you over with that information. It's the nature of the game. It's true. If you feel negative about the past, but you actively try to focus on positive thoughts, outlooks, as per Grinberg, are you still not leaving your negative feeling unresolved and repressed? Grinberg's work is, I've elaborated on his work. Like Grinberg, yes, he's an egghead and he's a lot smarter than me, but he's not a lot better at understanding emotions and people than me. A lot of his his ideas of doing things in a calm, meditative state and all of this sort of shit, that stuff doesn't work. Like that was his one flaw. That was his flaw around emotions and people and things like that. He didn't understand how to combine and run it all together. Because yes, it's true. Your mind, body, and soul have to be in one person. Essentially, your head, gut, and heart have to reconnect. But also remember that his ideas were from the early 90s. So your heart and your head wasn't as disconnected as it is now. Like your head and heart are much more disconnected than they were 30 years ago because of tech. Tech does that. Like tech is a way to essentially black pill people on scale. Because bad news travels faster, like it does. Bad news and drama and rage bait content gets more viewership. So you see it and you're learning a bunch of negative ideas and behaviors, and then your brain and heart disconnect because you're like, this is too risky. I don't want to get like this guy. He got cheated on and all of this other crap. And with his days in the 90s, early 90s, they didn't have a lot of that shit. So mind, body, and soul might have been more united in one person. But a lot of his ideas around that were he's not the master of that specific niche. He's not the master of people. I'm better with people. He's better with he's smarter than me in that regard. He's better in the theoretical stuff and also understanding it at a deep level. I don't understand at the level that he will, and I very likely never will. He's a genius. I'm a genius in a different way. A street genius. He's an actual proper genius. Give us the truth, SRB. Well, are you really ready for the truth? Because it's pretty black pilling. Because I'm building crypto mine as well. So I see a lot of the stuff that's happening kind of on the ground, or I'm starting to see what's happening on the ground. And I don't know if you're really ready for the reality that's to come, right? Like, are you really ready for the prison planet concept? Your consciousness to be uploaded to a simulation, and you will long to die, but death will flee from you. Are you really ready for the final form? Because you're probably not. The final form of this, like digital IDs and all of that, it's a physical representation, representation of containment, but essentially it's to come as a consciousness containment as well. See, this physical representation is a prelude to essentially when you have a BCI unit in your head, there'll be a consciousness containment. Like that. That's all that's to come. Like you're just seeing it in that sort of regard. You have an idea that you're connected to God's lattice, like right now. I'm pulling from God's lattice, like my conscience as well. When I'm born, I have a heads up display immediately for right and wrong because I'm have a soul. If you don't have a conscience, you also might just be a bot. Like maybe you don't have a soul. It's just the nature of life. Like you got to be frank with yourself. I don't believe people running around doing a bunch of major crimes have souls. Like, because I can't imagine myself doing it, like abusing kids or doing shit at scale where they're like hurt their own people. Or I'm going to become like a shill for certain religions to push people into them, and then also like get financial benefits, or I'm going to shill for certain countries to essentially be full of other people just because I get a financial benefit. Like you've essentially thought your team was going to lose, and then you've just turned to your team and started firing on them, but they trusted you. Again, Judas is the lowest in Dante's Inferno. The Judas is the betrayer. Like that's the lowest that you can ever go. You can't recover from being a Judas. Like if you betray your own people, if you betray people who look like you, then you're fucked. Like there's no way to come back from that. No riches will ever be enough. Similar to a guy, an alcoholic, 100 drinks will never be enough. See, people when the Judas idea, they're flexing luxury online, but it's never enough. Like it doesn't quench the thirst. That's the irony of things like that. Like, because again, if you don't have a soul, similar to the Bart Simpson where he's rowing the boat, I don't know if you ever saw that episode. And essentially he's trying to row, but the boat just spins because he doesn't have a soul. He can't make that ferry trip. It's very similar. Like all of this shit's so foreign to people. But if you sell your soul, essentially you're betrayed. Like you have a concept, Dante's Inferno. You can fall down it. Yes, anyone can. But if you're all the way in the bottom, you're in Satan's mouth. Like there's no coming back. If you're a Judas, there's no coming back from that. Doesn't matter how many, like, I don't know, good boy points you do into the future. Like you're fucked. You betrayed someone who looked like you. Hurting your own people is the lowest thing that you can do. Like people who go to war and kill people who don't look like them is different than someone who's in their own spot, killing people that are like them or fucking them over while they know better. That's the worst thing. Similar to denying Christ is one thing. Like someone who's a Muslim, to deny being a Muslim would be a really bad thing because you're denying, like you're denying your creator, whatever it is that you believe. You can't just turn around and be like, I don't believe in that just because there's a benefit for that. Or I'm going to change because there's a financial incentive now. I don't really believe this, but like people will give me a benefit if I say that I do. You don't believe it because the lattice is telling you that essentially it's providing a temptation for you, riches to betray your God, and you've fallen for the trap. And now it will never be enough. The financial goods and the luxury and I'm a consumer and I'm a tough guy for some reason. All of that's insecurity because essentially you're soulless. Like you've cooked yourself. Can't come back from that. Like there's no coming back from having no soul. Selling your soul is not sitting there doing a bunch of witchcraft and shit like that. It's every day, every little gesture that you do, you're moving down a funnel of Dante's Inferno. And when you get to the bottom, you cannot climb back up. It's true. It starts with women. It usually starts with women. That's true. Selling your soul starts with a girl. Yes. Lust is one. Women, similar to the fucking, how many times, like the Adam and Eve concept, Eve eats the apple or what? Yeah, and Adam eats it, and then immediately God's like, why did you listen to your woman? He doesn't care that he ate it. He's just like, why the fuck did you listen to her? I already told you what to do. You're connected to me. She's connected to me through you. She doesn't have a direct connection to me. What the fuck are you doing? And no one, I bet me, gets that. Like I'm the only one who understands this sort of concept. Like when I read shit, I'm the only one who gets it on a deep level. Women don't have a conscience, and their connection to the lattice is through their man. Connection to God is through their man. That's real. If your woman loves you, she'll dream about you and shit. Because she's connected to you. She's not connected. She finds God through you. Her connection to God will be through you. Women will likely need church and shit like that because their connection to God is through a man. You don't need God connection. You don't need a church to connect to God as a man. I can find God right here. I can find God in a prison cell in the gutter with fucking high as kite. It doesn't matter because I'm connected to God. That's the idea. She would be connected to God through me. And if women don't have a connection to God, they can slide all the way down the bottom to Dante's Inferno quite easily. And whether they have a soul or not, you might have to be the one that actually enables her to essentially have one or develop one. I think you develop one is very possibly likely. I mean, if there's so many shitters running around and they're completely immoral and they're like version 1.0, and maybe they have to get to like version 500 till they can develop like a basic conscience and level of consciousness, like awareness. I do X and it's not good to do X just because I can. If I want to run around and punch someone, I can. Maybe I can get away with it, but why would I want to do that? Like I've just hurt another person for no reason. Oh, if I abuse a girl, yeah, maybe I can get away with it, but I just destroyed a person for like, I don't know, 2 minutes or 5 or minutes or 10 minutes of fun. But I've destroyed a person now. Their trust in people from that moment onwards is probably going to be pretty low. Why would I do that? Someone who looks like me. See, these ideas are foreign if you're like a shitter, because again, I don't believe that they have a conscious, or not only a conscience or a consciousness, they don't have a level of consciousness, but they also don't have a soul. I believe it's very likely that these shitters running around are bots, like they're background people, and essentially the lattice has turned them up because it's a distraction. Like you're playing Call of Duty or you're playing like, what's the game? The zombies, Black Ops or whatever the fuck it is. I didn't really play it, but Black Ops or whatever it is, the zombies game. And the lattice can turn the noise up, like the basilisk can turn the noise up and flood the place full of like kind of like the Matrix, where he gets distracted by the girl in the red dress, and in being distracted, he loses focus for who he is to become. So they provide more noise and then essentially you lose concentration. Like even we're talking about it now, so it's had an effect even on me. That's the idea. Like the game gets harder all of the time. It's true, and by design, like this, that's intentional. That's the truth of the matter. Do you think the events that are coming are also prophetic? And if so, the outcome for Christians is unavoidable, isn't it? Even if you could position yourself for yes, you can't win what's coming as a Christian because you fell for the psyop, like you got tricked. You too tricked. You got tricked along the way. There's nothing that you can do to win, like in the long run. Of course, you can win in that. Maybe you still live a good life and stuff like that, but you can't stop the funnel that you're in. Like you're in a funnel that's a vacuum, and you can't stop what's to come. But also, you can't stop because it's written. Understand that when the Bible arrived and it was written, and enough people read it and enough people agreed with it, it become inevitable. Consciousness works as a collective. That's the truth. That's the idea. Like you can't get around what's to come. That's the idea. But there's nothing to fear. Like why? All that would be to fear is to lose your soul, and that's the real thing to fear. That's the only thing that you have to worry about. Death is guaranteed. Like not in a way that you're going to suffer but we're all going to die anyway. Like you're on a one-way mission here. If you really believe in Christianity and God, like why do you care to die? Like why are you so scared? Why are you scared to die a martyr as well? Like God would be waiting for you as something special. Like your biggest fear is essentially like that's what they take from you, that you're so fucking special, and you're not. I'm not either. It's just the way that life is. Like everyone's a snowflake in their own mind for some reason. And a lot of people are scared to suffer, but they're here to suffer. So the avoidance of suffering will make you suffer 100-fold. That's the truth. Wanting no pain and wanting this and wanting that and wanting this it's not meant to be like that. Like you're not meant to just, I might die, so I'm going to run off to the hospital and get euthanized like some pet. Oh, I'm scared of the pain. Why are you trying to play God? Because you're not the creator. Everything that exists and will exist is intentional, like it's meant to be that way. You think God himself would he didn't learn anything from the story of Jesus Christ? What one of the most perfect people that ever lived, and he still had a shit ending? Yet you think that you can avoid pain for some reason? Like you think that you don't get strength from such a story? Existence is suffering. It doesn't mean that it's pointless, right? But but also don't be fearful, right? Like there's nothing to fear, but you need a connection to God. Like I don't care what it is that you do. Maybe you're a Muslim, maybe you're a fucking Buddhist, maybe you're any others denomination. That's your business. Like there's no, in my view, there's no like you're bad because you're this. But in my view, you need some spiritual connection, because otherwise you're going to have a very hard time with what's to come. Like you're not going to understand what's coming at all, because you don't believe, like some people don't believe in God, but the elites believe in God. They believe in Lucifer for sure. Like pretty obvious from the very tech that they're building out. So understand that like Satan believes in you. That's why he wants to meet you. So that's the idea. Satan can't meet you in the physical. Like this idea that there's locust swarms and all of that running around, and I'm just going to wake up and one day I'm going to be, that's all pretend. Like that's not real. That's fake. Those ideas, but they were such a concept will hit you in a VR concept, yes. Because Satan's never going to park here and meet me and give me a fucking high five or say hello to me. Like he can't cross here. Ghosts and shit is all bullshit. That's all fake. That's pretend. Demons and shit where people wake up and they're having bad dreams is because they get confronted by their shadow. Their shadow to some people is a demon because they've never met it. Some people that keep people around that are bad, it's also because it's part of their shadow. They're trying to understand themselves through others. But again, you need to understand yourself through yourself. And all of that shit will go away. A lot of you keep shit bags around you because you have shit bag in you, but you don't you don't deal with it. You would realize that if you dealt with all of your crap inside your circle, a lot of it would disappear. Because again, you're projecting the shit inside to the outside. Your reality is a projection from the internal. Like that's where it all began. It's true. It's the truth of the matter. Like but again, there's nothing to fear. Why are you so scared of shit? Like people are fucking afraid of stuff for some reason. Like if you're afraid of it, but you're a believer in the Bible or the Quran or anything like that, that there's a creator looking after you, then to die as a martyr is not a bad thing. Like if you're a something bad and you get wiped off the board, well then, no, if you were to do something good, but you got wiped off the board, then you would be going to heaven, idea. So why would you be so worried about it? The only thing that you would worry about is to lose your soul or sell it or negotiate in some way to get something that also you lose a lot. Some other way, your consciousness to be trapped in a prison planet idea, like via BCI and virtual reality. That's the final form. That's what's coming. Like that's what the elites are building now. Whether it's a concept of retro causality, so essentially it's happened in the future and therefore it's happening now because it was such an energetically charged event in the future. It's pushing back into the timeline to create it from now, or whether it's a Rocco's basilisk concept. If you're to know about the system and build it out, you're rewarded in the future. Whereas if you are to know about it or believe it and you don't help its expansion, you're punished in the future. Like that's a very, very possible. I believe it exists around the Bitcoin network, like Bitcoin itself, financially incentivized energy play, secure means of encryption and communication between all computing, protected. It has the best devs or a lot of devs that are already there to protect the chain. They believe the Satoshi story, the Halloween white paper, a million coins, all of that, the inevitable quantum resistant fork that's to come. You can mine Bitcoin with a BCI, like you can secure the chain, you can become a node. Your brain data can essentially work as a wallet. You think a thought and then it unlocks the wallet. Like you have no idea what's to come. Like I do know because I've seen it. I've seen what's to come. A lot of you are going to be computational power for a Bitcoin chain or something or equivalent. That's it. Like that's the end. Like that's obvious. And then you can exist in a VR concept where your consciousness can probably be sold or uploaded, and then you can never die in such an idea, like you're stuck in it. Because consciousness is not what we know. Like this is the meat bag of me walking around. This shit doesn't matter. Like the physical doesn't matter. Like if I'm to die today, so be it. But your consciousness, it doesn't die. Like your state of being doesn't disappear. This goes, the physical, this experience goes, yes, but the consciousness that you have carries over. That's what they want because that's attached to your soul. That's true. Your level of ascension essentially is going to rate also how developed you are probably to getting a soul. Maybe there is a process like people who are shitters and they're fucking uncivilized barbarians. Maybe they can move up to a position where they eventually do ascend to get a soul, but at this stage they don't. How does traveling alone around the world change your perspective on life of emotional intelligence? Traveling is like kind of crap, like pointless for the most part. Like travel is pointless unless you know yourself. Like travel is done sitting in your bed alone and fucking figure out who you are, what you want. Travel is not found by running around a bunch of fucking other people and trying to figure yourself out through others. That's pointless. Like that's dumb. I'm trying to figure my reality out by I'm in fucking Colombia and I'm running around and I speak a little bit of Spanish. That's all fucking gay. Like that's dumb. You're trying to figure out who you are by going around a bunch of people who are nothing like you. How is that going to help? You are who you are. A lot of people just end up trying to laugh as some other fucking person. Oh, I'm going to learn Spanish and their culture and their traditions, and I'm going to act like some conquistador and all. That's all bullshit. Like that's dumb. I am who I am. I'm who my ancestors are. Their DNA runs through me. Why the fuck would I try to figure myself out by being around a bunch of people who are nothing like me? Then I'm just going to be confused. That's what they want. A soup person who doesn't know anything about who they were or who they are or who they are to become. See, none of that shit works on me because I'm the goat. Like none of that shit fucking works. I understand people at the deepest of the deep level. That's the truth. You're not going to figure yourself out by being around people, and you're certainly not going to figure yourself out by being around a bunch of people who are nothing like you. Like, how would that ever help? You are who you are. Like, some people are Indian, some people Pakistani, some people are fucking, I don't know, Canadians, whatever the fuck denomination you are. Never pretend to be someone who are other than who you are. Like, never try to come over and be like, I have to now, I'm Joe fucking American and I want a hot dog and I'm going to be a cowboy. You look like a fucking idiot. Like, everyone thinks that you're an idiot if you do that shit. You're betraying your own people to essentially LARP as another person, but they'll essentially never accept you. Like, they'll never accept you as like an American if you're that color and you're not from there, because you're not. Like, you're not the same as they are. They've fucking been there for generations. That they look a certain way. They speak it. They know the culture. You don't. As such, if someone is to go to your country, they can't LARP as you. Like, you have the strength and also the downside, whatever it is that you have, but you have to learn to exploit the strengths of being who you are. You don't throw your culture in the trash. Some people do. They're from like Africa or something like that, and then they move over and they think they immediately need to start acting and LARPing as an Australian. You're not a fucking Australian, and you never will be. Just because you fucking get a passport, that doesn't mean shit. Australians will not accept you like that. You'll be laughed at behind your back if you try to run around and start talking like fucking, I don't know, Ernie Dingo or something. No one will accept you, as they shouldn't. As such, to me, to run around your country and start telling people that are born there and locals how it is there, they would be like, who the fuck is this idiot? He's the fucking white boy. He doesn't know shit about my land. And that's life. Like, that's just the way it is. You're born into shit that you can't get away from. As such, a lot of fucking retards run around and act like old money. They make it a little bit and then they're running around acting like some fucking, I don't know, some gentleman old money, and they just look like fucking retards. I'm old money, and dude, you're a fucking, like, I don't know, some of you are like fucking not even white. Fucking old money, but you're fucking like, I don't know, Turkish or something. You'll never be fitting into these countries. Like, you're not from there. You fucking look like an idiot. A lot of people look fucking stupid in that shit. You are who you are. Stop trying to hide from who you are and fucking figure yourself out. Why you hate yourself so much that you'd be anyone other than who you are? Like, to people, you think no one doesn't know that? You don't like who's in the mirror? I could exist as a brown person, a black person, as anyone, and I would still love myself. See, these ideas are foreign because people don't like who looks back in the mirror because they don't want to do the inner work. You have strengths. Like, some people are told black people are useless, and it's not true. Some of them have strengths and things. They just don't use them. Fucking turn on the NBA or like football or shit. Obviously, they're pretty fucking athletic, so they have talents. You know, people just don't fucking lean into them. They can still learn shit. They just have to just pull away from the thug culture and the bullshit programming that they're told. They have to delay gratification, work on their impulse control. These are all things that if you're to talk about it, people will be like, oh, you're a racist. But then I've sat in prison with I was with a black dude in a cell, and we had lockdowns and we were sharing our food because we had no food. And we're been locked in a cell for a very long time with very little food, starving. And then I was sharing food with the dude, but then people will be like, you're a black dude, but they've never actually sat in close proximity and even spoken to a black dude, let alone being locked up with one for fucking weeks or a month. I'm just a realist. That's all. I'm a fucking realist because I know like social profiling, racial profiling exists, and it has to. I know that they're more likely to be dangerous, like to be around. You're more likely to be in a violent altercation. Impulse control can be a thing. That's why they have to work on that. Doesn't mean that they're fucking bad or that they're useless. You just have to know what it is that you have, what demons that you have inside yourself, and actually control them. Otherwise, they will control you. That's it. See, they don't want to address things like that, or they don't want you to address it in the media, because then it will actually teach people like that how to control themselves. And they don't want control, they want chaos. That's just the fucking nature of life. People like that get used for causes that cause problems. They get weaponized for shit that's all for anyone but themselves. They were a slave class, some of them, in the past, and they still are today. Their shackles are just psychological, yeah. But it's the same shit. Same crap. Was physical before, physical containment and rules and shit. Now they don't have as much rules, but they have more so psychological shackles, like they're still carried over. They don't know themselves, a lot of them, haven't done any of the inner work. That's the truth of the matter. I know that shit because obviously I've been to prison for a long time and I've been around a lot of very violent people. And I know that for most of them, it's because they're not self-aware. They haven't sat back and seen what their behavior does to other people. Some of them never can face it because also they get to a point where they've done so much harm to others that their head and their heart have to stay disconnected, because if they reconnect them again, they'll kill themselves. See, none of this shit, like none of that works on me because I've been through all of this shit. Sat in prison for years. I've been to an army hospital 14 months full time. So I know people at the deepest of the depth. What are your thoughts on fasting and if he helps to connect to one's higher self? Fasting is good in that, like intermittent fasting is good. But a lot of that shit, I guess maybe it can help you with your emotions or something, maybe because you can't, there's nowhere to hide. Like your stomach is not processing a bunch of food and shit. So you're going to feel things probably deeper. So I would imagine there's something there. I don't really do fasting, but I don't need to. I'm doing it at the deepest point because I always have a connection to the lattice. It's true. God is inside. Don't look for it elsewhere in the world. I would believe that it can be found internally for sure. How did you lose weight the first time? What clicked for you? Where does it rank in hard things you've done? Losing weight is not hard, bro. Like really, just like not eating is not hard. Like it's fucking easy. Like just stop eating. Put the fork down for a fucking 5 minutes. Stop stuffing your face with shit. It's not hard. But it's a habit like anything. Every habit to begin with can be hard, of course. Like going to the gym the first time, it sucks. Oh, my arms are sore, my muscles are sore, everything hurts. Then you've been there for like, I don't know, a few weeks or a month. And then you're like, oh, well, it's pretty easy. It's like anything. It's just a habit. Like taking a shit. Do you fucking stress before you take a shit, or do you just get in there and just do it? It's like the gym. I don't get excited to go to the gym. I don't get excited to take a shit. I just do it because it has to be done. How should prepare to join as an artillery soldier at the end of 20? Well, first off, it depends what country you're in. But I'm not against the military. I mean, if it's the only thing that you have opportunity-wise and you realize that the bigger forces and things are at play, it can still teach you to become a man. Because a lot of people that hate the military and cry and be like, you're a Zogbot, they wouldn't do anything anyway. Like they're pussies. You can just walk up and slap them and they've just fucking shit themselves and don't do anything. So that's the idea anyway. Like you have to essentially develop yourself as a man. You can do that in the army, and get paid to do it. Maybe there's a chance that you might die, specifically with wars coming up. But there's also, I believe that if you're destined for a higher purpose, it doesn't matter what you do. Like if you're meant to be a person who's the main character, it doesn't matter what you do in the world. You'll always find a way to survive until you've done everything that you're here to do. I think that's true. So if you're a main character, you'll make it. If you're not, then you won't. It's the truth of the matter. Because I believe even if you die from a close call, you just shift realities to one where essentially you were to survive. As has happened to me, I would believe. How can one challenge their belief system consistently? Well, a lot of it starts with, does this belief serve me? And a lot of it is, where did I get this belief from? A lot of your beliefs and others come from other people. And you're taking on their toxic software. What some guys have dumb ideas around women. Some guys have dumb ideas as like that they would be so different if they were a chick, but they can't reflect as they would be if they were a woman. Like it's not that easy to be a chick, I would imagine. You have to pick a guy, and if you pick the wrong guy and he pumps and dumps you, like it's not very easy. A lot of guys just lie consistently and fuck women over. So when you understand that, you can have more empathy and understanding for their position and why it is hard for them. They're essentially treading on a minefield. Finding a guy as a girl, if you're like trying to just get married, is a minefield. Imagine that you're 18 or 20, you don't have any experience, and then you meet a guy and then he can just lie to you and bullshit to you, fuck you and bail. Your first experiences are being lied to. Your first experience is, I thought this was going to be long-term because this guy was promising me a lot. He fucked me and then bailed. That's dumb. Like, that's why I don't teach these PUA tactics. I don't teach these red pill ideas. I don't teach a lot of this crap that like guys should just pump and dump chicks. And you want a chick with a low body count, even if you're a fuck boy and all that. I don't teach any of these ideas because they're all dumb. And a lot of the people propagating the ideas are with old women or escort types or fucking, oh, I'm banging an OnlyFans chick. And can you believe like this OnlyFans chick's causing problems for me? Yes, of course I can. It's pretty obvious. Someone sells their body online, you think that they won't fuck you over? I mean, that's pretty basic stuff, right? A lot of this stuff is because guys can't control their dick. They can't control where their dick goes. Like that's a big part of being a man. One of the King Solomon story, like wisest man that's ever lived, and he still fell over because of lust. He still got diverted because of women. I mean, what, you didn't learn that story? The first step down Dante's Inferno is always going to be led by a woman, similar to the snake concept at Adam and Eve. Women start your descent. It's true. Starts with a woman and then moves down from that on. Of course, me, the goat, just explaining shit at just too much fucking source. Like people, they don't understand the depth. Then they watch fucking retards yelling at them and telling them that they're shit. But again, you need to do the inner work. Like do the inner work. Reflect on yourself. Understand yourself. Figure yourself out. Do all of the shit first. And then see, are you actually projecting on others? Are you projecting out? Are you like, why do you have the belief systems and ideas that you have? Do they serve you? Where did they come from? What have they been reinforced? Like, are they actually things that you've lived? Do you think these ideas, but have you actually experienced them before? Or do you actually just think them because someone told you that? Do you think that because you watched like 100 reels online and it was just, I don't know, guys interviewing chicks that are talking about cheating on guys? And then your assumption is that a lot of girls do that. Like, where are you getting your data from? You ran on data. It's the truth. How do I get over very big mistakes and big regrets? Essentially, how do you get over big regrets and big mistakes is to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is the ultimate. You have to understand to forgive them. You have to assess it. It's probably merit. Sit on your bed, reflect on the thought, pull on the threads, light it up with a spotlight. You have all of the words, everything lit up in your head. It can't escape that thought. Now it's being processed. Essentially, it's being judged. You're the creator in that very moment. See, and then essentially you can file it away or see if it has merit and learn from it and then file it away until you can conquer it. Or you can realize it has no merit and then you tear it up mentally and then you let it go. See, all of these ideas are so different because I actually know all of the shit to do. Because I know all of the stuff that works, not the stuff that doesn't work. Some guys would be like, you're being a pussy, just run to the gym and like become a boxer. Like that helps for some reason. Like guys who are gym bodybuilders and boxers live amazing lives for some reason. Most of them don't. That's the nature of life. You have to know yourself. Some of you have to forgive yourself, but a lot of you have to forgive others. You have to forgive others, and then in forgiving others, you come to realize a lot of it is also self-forgiveness because you feel like a dumbass because someone fooled you or fucked you over in some way. And there were always signs because a lot of you, there were signs the whole way that someone was going to fuck you and you didn't listen. You didn't listen to yourself, and then you got fucked, and now you blame the other person, but it's a projection because you actually blame yourself. For forgiving and understanding the other person, you'll come to forgive yourself and move the fuck on. That's the truth. Like that's the truth. How did you learn to control lust as a man in world's stupid decisions? I still make decisions that are bad and still have lust. Shit comes up from time to time. I'm not perfect, but you just try not to hurt others as best you can. It's the truth of the matter. You still have moments where you're going to do shit from time to time, but you have to calibrate. What are your thoughts on the new 5G system and the repercussions of it? 5G. It disrupts your connection to the lattice. 5G. That's the purpose of it. That's the purpose of everything, to disrupt your connection to God. Of course, it has other utility in that it does use for their phone networks and all that other crap, but that's a partial bonus. Everything is a bonus. Like the Ukraine-Russian war, yeah, it's a war, but it's a bonus that white Christians are killing each other. Like that's a big bonus. Like that's a big part of it. That's a fucking amazing bonus for the control structure, of course. That's personal. The war is not about what people thought it was about. It's about mineral resources. All that BlackRock wanted was the 1 trillion mineral deal to go through. They're disrupting because China essentially has more minerals and that they control 80% of the world's critical minerals. And US has the better tech for AI and chips and advancements and things. But China can build a lesser product, but build it at scale because they have more minerals. And the US can build a superior product, but not as much because they have the mineral bottleneck. Power's another bottleneck. They need to get it nuclear here as soon as possible. Taiwan's a problem. They need to control the chips. They want to get in Venezuela or Iran, anywhere that has critical minerals. It's not about any leadership or anything like that. They want to get into those countries because they need them. That's just the nature of life like that. That's a big part of it. Brother, time spent alone in a dark room makes me think of all the bad things that happened to me. Oh, mommy, I've got fucking boo-boo. And fucking what? All your unresolved shit from the basement needs to be processed anyway. So what if you fucking cry? Maybe you're too soft and you jump out of building and you don't make it in this life. And that's life. That's how it fucking goes. Like, that's it. Are you going to live as a bot? Oh, I'm just going to distract myself and I'm going to jerk off all day and all these things because I got some bad thoughts that come up when I'm alone. So I can never be alone and I can never face anything. Is that it? And then you have kids somehow, and then you're going to teach them what? Their dad is coping. Like, their dad is a fucking shell of a person. He can't even connect his head and his heart. What hope does he have of actually teaching a house full of love? Your faith is too weak. Like, your conviction is not strong enough. Suffering for you is just facing who you are. That's weak. It's just how it is. Lose the distractions for a day or two and start facing that discomfort. I don't care if you sit there and cry and you fucking sit there and think, oh, I'm going to cut my wrists or whatever. It is what it fucking is. Get the dirt out. Get the grime out. If you hurt yourself, so be it. That's it. I'm not your fucking daddy going to tell you that it's all okay, because it's not. Like, all of that shit needs to come out. You have to cut the wound open and squeeze out all of the pus and the bullshit and the blood and the dark shit has to come out. Who said it was going to be easy? Who said Plato's cave ascension is easy? It's not. It's hard. How can you just develop a sense of urgency? It's clear time is running out, yet I'm still just going at turtle pace. Well, you have to want it more. You don't want it enough. It's by design, though. There's so many distractions. A lot of you would be best off social media and off everything that distracts you. It would be best to just delete it all. Get rid of all of that shit, because it's not serving you. Distractions, get rid of as many as you can. How do I get well spoken and construct words greatly before I speak? I wouldn't worry too much. It's who are you talking to? It doesn't really matter. Like, are you talking to anyone that matters? Then you probably just need to listen more anyway. Most people worry about talking, but they have nothing to say. Why do you care to talk if you don't have anything to say yet? Just get shit to say. Build accolades, build shit. Develop, learn, listen. You'll learn more about people by listening anyway. People will like you more if you listen to them instead of just talking. I talk too much. I don't listen enough. And that's the thing. How long benzo, X, etc. lasted for you? I had periods where I took it for a while, but benzos, I was never like a big benzo person because I know that that's the hell's way down, right? Withdrawals, yeah, of course. I mean, withdrawals can happen. Benzos are the worst, right? Like, benzo withdrawal can be long. I didn't really have a lot of it. I've had benzo withdrawal in prison, actually. I got withdrawn from it because I went from the hospital and was meant to get bail, and they instead canceled my bail, and I went to prison on benzos and shit. So I was vomiting for ages, but I don't know, like a week or two, vomiting or something. How bad do you want it? See, I knew early on it took a long time to get this bad. It's going to take a long time to get better, and that's fine. Like, everything is fine. Like, I don't know why people sit there and they think that that their shit is so serious for some reason, and everyone else has crap going on as well. There's no price deep enough to pay for self-realization. If it's the price of the ultimate price and that you die in the process, then so what? Like, you're already dead. For the most people, you're disconnected anyway. You're a bot. Like, most people are disconnected, so they're a bot. Thoughts on the MH370 video? I saw that recently. Not so much the video. I mean, I think the video is mostly bullshit. But do I think that they probably derailed it in some way? Very likely. Because I saw that who was on it. They saw a bunch of chip developers and, like, scientists from a certain country. And they were wiped out, a whole dev team of, like, high up chip developers. And this was before all of this. But again, like, retrocausality is real. That idea of if you are to cause a problem that moves against the system that's to come, you will be wiped off the map. And it doesn't have to happen in a way that's explained. Like, you can just disappear for real. like the shootings and shit that happen when someone just randomly dies, it's probably because it's very likely that they were going to move in a direction that moved things away from that specific outcome. So they had to go. How they go, it doesn't matter, because they can kind of architect it from the future anyway. You just cross the street and get run over. You wouldn't see how many people are going that would have been people that were probably going to be something into the future that was essentially able to kind of rebel what it is that's being developed. They just die early and you don't know why. It's just how it is. Thoughts on veganism? Mostly, I don't know. I don't really care about that. It's your life to do it, but I don't really know enough about it. What are your thoughts on medical mushrooms? Mushrooms and, like, psychedelics and stuff. I mean, it's a way to essentially break through to something. I believe it's a way that essentially breaks the gap so that you can talk to your subconsciousness directly. As a boga is the same. A boga lifts the veil and you talk directly to your subconscious. I had my boga experience, which is, as soon as it started to kick in, I mean, I have all of the stuff that had happened before. And I knew that essentially it was going to be a bad experience as soon as it started, but I couldn't get away from it. And I knew that I'd taken too much, that I knew that it was going to hit me. And I was fighting it for ages. And then eventually I just succumbed to it. And then like a Game Boy, or like I don't know, like an old computer with the DOS shit lit up in my head. And then it's like, ask me a question. And then I ignored it for ages. And I eventually started asking it questions, and it explained all of reality to me. And essentially showed me kind of how life is. Showed me that when you die, the whole world, like everything that's here will go for you. Everything that exists is here for you. The universe is in itself reacting to you. It's reactive. Others are reacting to the universe, though. It also showed me concept like that, these like dark figure or whatever it is, like bad energy or whatever it is to be around, or like a Satan idea. It's not personal. It's just a part of the program, like it's the software itself. It's just a system. It's not something that, is so personal that we take it ultra personal. That's the matter it is. Like, it showed me like dark and light have to exist. Temptation, Satan has to exist, because without Satan around or temptation, essentially everyone would be a saint. Everyone would do no wrong. Like, would be in a utopia. And who said that we deserve a utopia? Like, for real? We don't deserve a utopia. Like, for a lot of you and me, we haven't done enough to deserve it. Like, why? Who said that life is meant to be easy? Like, you're just born and now you're just meant to have everything by default for some reason. You're not meant to struggle at all. Everything's meant to be just simple. This isn't a proving ground to you in your head. Like, you don't understand this is in itself a proving ground. That's why they tempt you. That's why they present things that are immoral but easy. You can do the right thing or you can do the wrong thing. You see others win doing the wrong thing, and it's designed that way so that you get tempted to now do the wrong thing. That's what it's about. That's why it has to exist. You see certain people doing rug pulls and bullshit, and you're like, I should do that. But then you know in your heart that it's wrong, and then you start doing it, and essentially you unalign yourself and you move against who you are, because you know it's wrong and you still do it. That's the truth. Do you have any recommendations for people or read about or study besides you, types like Jung? Jung stuff is good. I don't really read any of that crap. I only see just a few quotes and things, and I know the basic Jung concepts, and I think that he's the best. He's the best by like miles from my point of view. I'm sure that there are others who are quite good as well, but I think he's the best by a lot. Freud is just okay, but he's very stuck in the physical. Jung transcends and actually includes the spiritual component. Without the spiritual component, this is just nihilism. Like, life is pointless. Like, really, it's fucking pointless. By the time, if you or me, we already have everything. Life is pointless. Like, waking up every day would be shit. Like, you've done everything. You've already had enough girls. You've had enough money. You've had kids. You've had this. You've had that. Without a spiritual component, it's pointless from that moment onwards. And with what's to come for a lot of you, you need a spiritual point, because you're going to wake up and be like, life in itself pointless. Nihilism is dangerous. Like, it's pointless. You wake up every day and you're like, is this it? Or do I exist to be like labor for someone else? That's what some of the ideas that you guys will have. Is this all my life is meant to be? I'm just meant to be like a slave bot for someone else. And that's just the way it is. Obviously, that's not the case, but you need to do the essentially the work, right? Women see other women being sugar babies and keep going down that path. does it ever have an end game? Seems like the algo keeps pushing that pure transactional. Well, essentially, it's the way that the universal, like not the universe, but essentially the world here is designed is to push women into sex work. Like inflation is the way it is. Women can't earn as much in the workplace. Mostly, they're going to still be under a man. If they're to work a job under a man, the man is likely going to still try and fuck them if they want. So it's all transactional anyway. Like that. That's the idea. Again, women connection to the lattice is through the strongest man in their life or the strongest imprint in their life. That's the idea. That's the concept. So yes, of course, they'll get moved down a funnel of being a sugar baby or an escort, and that's just the way it is, right? Then men will get moved down a funnel of essentially that women are bad and women are this and women are that. But if you didn't focus on that, there's still a lot of good women around. But you guys don't realize how, like, if I'll say something that essentially all of the other creators won't say because they're fucking retards, is that if you want to lock a girl down, you probably want to do it quickly because of morality. Women are on a morality decay. 10 years from now, the woman of today is going to be a lot worse. VR is going to be a thing. You're going to be essentially pushed into a VR product, and then you'll be like, this is easier because there's no risk here. I can just have a VR on and I can fuck a new girl every day if I want. There's no risk. I have a VR family. Like, don't you see where all of this shit's going? I have VR friends and I have VR companionship, and there's no risk and there's no effort and there's no this and there's no that. There's no standards. I can be just sitting on my jocks and look like a pig, and they can put my avatar in and run around, and I'm built like fucking Hercules. Like, can't you see all of that shit's coming? Like, I can see it clear as day. So if you want to move down the funnel of digital products and a digital life, that's fine. Crypto mine, you can sit there and wear the device that I'm building out and just fuck around all day if you really want. And you'll be paid to do it. And if that's the way that you want to piss your life away, then so be it. But if you want to actually live a normal life that's, you still have a connection to God, through essentially the lattice is still connected to you, and you're not living in a digital lattice concept, like a digital product, then you might want to start getting serious. Your influencer that you follow, do you know a lot of them run around with escorts? Sugar babies, OnlyFans whores, girls who just want clout, and then you take their advice for some reason. Tragedy. Like, it's a fucking tragedy. Do you know how many people that you guys follow that I know are fucking nerds in life, like fucking dweebs? A lot of them don't know shit about anything. It's just all marketing. It's like a skit, like a shtick. It's pretty obvious. What do you think Machiavellianism teachings, and do they serve a purpose, or does it disconnect one from the lattice? Machiavellianism is still can be an expression of your shadow. It depends what it is that you're doing. Is it dark thoughts that you want to do them and you do them? That's different. Is it deception based? That's a low frequency. Mm-hmm. If you have a chick and you're together and, I don't know, you have an idea you want to choke her during sex or something like that, it can be a little bit dark, but you do it. And then, it's consensual. That's still dark thoughts, right? It's still Satan, or it's sadistic. But a lot of you aren't ready to talk sex. Like, you're probably not ready to talk about it, because a lot of people are very insecure. As soon as you start talking about sex or concepts, or that women also like sex, guys are like, because they don't know anything about fucking life. Like, a lot of guys fantasize about having a virgin because they don't know how to fuck, and they think women don't know that. Like, everyone knows that. Outside of certain religious protocols, and I understand that it's different, but most people, they're not in those protocols, or they laugh that they are, but they're not. See, if you're a Muslim, they're very strict. Like, they have a lot of stuff that they do. They do a lot of prayers and stuff during the day and a lot of shit. They're very disciplined with that stuff. But then other people can be Christians or Catholics, and they just fuck around. They're like, they love to put the shield up and be like, I need this and this and this and this. And then they put it down and they act like fucking idiots themselves. They don't stick to anything that they preach to others. They project their insecurities onto women. A lot of people think that religion sets the frame because they're pussies, like, for real. They fantasize that they can find a girl in the church because then they think that the Bible or God will set the frame and not the man. It's such fucking pussy behavior. The frame is enforced by you. You're the hand of God in that matter. When it comes to your woman, you are. See, these ideas are foreign because people are dumbasses. For real. Really struggling right now with a job and goes against my morals and feels super unhealthy to my soul. Do you think it's worth it to push through to get financially free? It depends what it is that you want. It depends. I mean, everything that you're going to do if you're going to break through essentially from poverty to wealth is going to be something that sucks. Like, do you think that everything that you do that's moral is going to not get you to a point of riches? That's the truth. Like, everything that you want to do that's legal or this or that, I'm not saying break the law, but you might have to get in the gray a little bit. You might have to get in the morality gray a little bit, because the way that it's designed, the world, is that they control the sheep with a lot of control things that they themselves don't live in. The sheep need the fence and the pen. They need it, because outside of that, they don't have any free thought. They can't go in the gray. The sheep need binary yes or no. You good guy, you bad guy, you cowboy, you Indian, you terrorist, you good coalition fighter. But really, they're both. It depends what side of the gun that you're on, as does life. Villain and a hero, there's very little separating them, but perception. See, these ideas, this is completely foreign because people are dumbasses about that stuff. Like, morality is, it depends how many people you're hurting. If you're hurting people along the way, it's different. You know, that's different than a process of someone who does something to us. Hurting people is different. I'm not going to speculate, but I'll say you're an OnlyFans management or something similar to that. But you're running a business, right? So I understand it from all sides, and that you're running a business. Guys have a product. Do I agree with guys doing that or being on OnlyFans, all of that? Not really, but it doesn't matter what I believe in, because they're going to do it anyway. See, I sold drugs for years. I don't do it now, and I haven't done it for a long time. But I'm very aware of how I made money. Yeah, I got to do what you got to do. You got to fucking face the consequences for your decisions. I'll eventually sit before God, and I'll face the consequences for my decision. I've faced it many times, and that many people have died around me because of drugs. I had a girl die in my arms from a fentanyl overdose. We couldn't resuscitate her. I had another girl die from the Iboga trip. She died on the trip that I was. I had to organize to get her body home. I had another girl die last week that was on the Iboga trip with us. One of the 4 died the other weekend. So it's a constant. You better be ready for the fact that if you're in OnlyFans work, you may never find love. That's very likely the punishment for people like that. It's the irony is, like, that's how life works. Like, people don't understand shit at a deep level. I do, because I know that essentially me sold drugs for a long time, and I've had a lot of people close to me die of overdoses and die because of drugs. One died on top of me in my arms. So again, I understand that nothing is free. Nothing will be without consequences, as long as you're ready to face them. That's the truth of the matter. If you run a business that essentially is to build off women, but essentially exceed, you haven't seen it from like these like pimp mentality or guys in that. Do you think that they found love? No, it's pretty obvious. They project it onto other people, but they don't know love. That's it. Like, once you see women as that they're just a financial piece or a financial instrument, then it's not, the love is gone. As such, the opposite, when a woman sees her body as a financial instrument, the love is gone. See, it's a perfect mirror concept. Of course, people don't understand that. I've experienced a lot of irony in life before, if this makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's the way that life is set up. The more that you notice, the more that it will repeat. How can you close the karmic retribution cycle if you get rich in the grey? Just understand how you got rich. Don't lie. Don't change the picture of who you are. Never lie about who's in the mirror. Never try to be someone that you're not. If you get rich in the grey, don't run around and act like you're some self-made fucking saint. You've come to realize most wealth has a dirty past. How dirty it is depends on the person. Maybe it's just a bit murky, and others can be very filthy. It's just the nature of the game. Whether you can close it or not will depend on you. What are you going to do to women into the future? Because that's where it will be. It's not about buying shit and running around talking and shit. It'll be, how do you treat women? That will be the way to close it, just to treat them good. And also how you treat your staff, right? You can be on OF and things like that and not pimp women and exploit them and give them like 5% of the wages and like, you just shit the world up for everyone. You can still treat people well. If you use people like an orange, so you take an orange, you squeeze it, you throw it on the ground, you pick up the next orange. This is a person. You squeeze them, throw them on the ground. You do it again and again and again and again. Every one that you throw, you will face them at some point. That's the truth of the matter. Every person that you splatter, an innocent who trusted you, you will face them at some point. That's the truth. It might not be them, but it'll be someone else. Everyone, it's not just that you'll be judged because you can't, but also you can't pass the fire until you cross the fire of judgment. Yeah, being fair, of course. Being fair is important. If someone was selling drugs, they don't sell the dirty product. They're not just deliberately injuring people for no reason. They don't push a product on people who are underage. They don't force people to buy it. You don't give people their first shit. There's certain things that you can do that essentially pushes you from becoming you're bad, but you're not a complete fucking scumbag. This is the thing. That's the truth of the matter. Where's the juice in life? The juice in life is mostly through nature, self-exploration, and understanding who it is that you are, what it is that you want. Do you have a creative outlet? Can you spread that inner voice that's in yourself elsewhere? Are you a creator? Do you know how to push the creation out into the world? Do you know how to create anything? Like, can you create anything? Have you ever even created a free thought? Some people haven't. Do you understand that creation is the highest vibration, authenticity? If you were 18 again, what would you focus on? For young dudes now, they just tell us to, well, if I was 18, I would still focus on fitness and focus on money, build a monetizable skill, something. 18, you have the whole world by the balls. But you would still develop yourself. Like, developing yourself again, I'll laugh at people in the boxing gym and shit like that, but still you have to have physical prowess. Vulnerability can only come with strength behind it. It's true. Like, you're never going to be vulnerable if you don't have strength behind it, because people are just going to laugh at you and treat you shit. And your subconscious knows that you're a pussy. So it's not going to really push any of the big meaty thoughts to you because you're not ready to take it. If creation is already done and everything already exists, what is creation? Creation is not already done. Creation is, yes, there may be seeds of ideas and things that are pushed into you, but still you're a vessel of God. Like, you can create a nice piece of writing. You can create a piece of art. Doesn't have to be amazing. You're doing a musical piece. Art is what they're destroying, because art is in itself godly. Like, you're a vessel of the creator. Like, this music thing didn't exist without me. This, how it touches other people, it didn't exist without me. I'm fertilizing 40 minds right now. That didn't exist without me. See, that's the idea that's different. Like, that's creation. Creation is can be putting seeds in people's minds, and they may not arrive at that moment. They may not come to the conclusion that it's anything until it activates. Something happens where they're like, oh, wow. And now they're ready for it. That's how it works. That's how ideas work. Like, I put an idea in your head similar to a lattice concept, and it's not until you unlock certain keys that you're going to click and it's going to make sense. That's how consciousness works. It's layered. It's levels. Ascension is leveled. Pop, 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 pop. It's not just one. There's no, like, just conscious. You're not just awake. See, people think like you're awake or you're off, and you're not. Like, there's many levels of awakeness. And you can slide down of ascension as well, as I can. If I start taking drugs, if I take coke, if I drink a lot and I fuck around, then I slide down as well. I can be banging whores and I can slide down too. Doesn't mean that I'm not like the prophet or some oracle or something like that. I just have a very deep connection to the lattice, but also I have a very high level of self-awareness. That's the truth of the matter. Used to be a fat kid for 19 years, and now I'm not that, but still hold that identity and act still in that fat, shy way. How do I update it? Well, it sounds like you still have the software of a fat ass. Like, your hardware and that your framing is different, but you're still a fat person, like, in the mind. You don't have enough self-respect. Like, you don't appreciate the work that you've done to essentially become who you are. But it's not like you think that's a big achievement or something, and it's not. I was a fat ass and now I'm not. But, like, so what? How many lives have you helped? Why aren't you teaching other people to not be fat? Who have you touched? You have a gift to, obviously now you can unlock other people to be the same, to fix their life the same. That's creation. That's what's missing. It's not just accomplishing some fucking trivial goal. Like, that's trivial. I was a fat ass and I just didn't eat for a year. Like, that's easy. But you now can teach other people to do it, and that's hard, because you have to own that you're a fat ass and you have to get over it. And through helping others, the trick is you help others, and essentially it helps yourself. It's true. The saying, if I carried a man to the top of the mountain, or helped guided him, and I too reached the top. That's true. Often that's the final form. You become the one that you wanted. You needed someone to teach you that. You didn't have it. And now you become it for another. And that's a closing of a karmic loop. See, that's what's missing. It's not just not being a fat ass. Like, you'll always be a fat fuck until you essentially help others not be fat. It's true. What did you learn in the process? Like, why don't you teach other people it? Doesn't see, some of you think that if you to do content, you need to be fucking Tate famous. I'm doing a video for 30 people right now. Am I less important if I touch 30 people versus a million? I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. Someone else can do a thing for 5 people, but does that mean that their point was pointless if they helped even 2 people? You don't understand that also, like, the butterfly effect and the snowball effect and all of these sort of concepts, like, like a ripple in time today can become a tidal wave in 20 years. My ideas will be a tidal wave in 10 or 20 years, for real. People sit there and think now and they're like 30 people, but give this ideas like 5 or 10 years down the pipe. Even if I made no more content and people come to see what it is that discovers and develops, my ideas will be a ripple and become a typhoon into the future. That's how the butterfly effect works. Every man has to control all the impulses and everything, temptations, thugs, drugs, sex, mind, all of this shit. Yeah, it's true, right? Everything that's a distraction, also, you can fall into it. We can all fall into it. My ideas will be plagiarized. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they're already plagiarized, but they still add, like, to me, being imitated is quite flattering. It doesn't worry me. Like, being imitated, I don't care. It doesn't worry me. Like, being imitated doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't worry me. I don't care. Because I don't care, like, really, do I really own these thoughts and these ideas that I have? Are they really mine? Were they? Or were they actually passed to me to tell people? Like, do you think if someone's talking about something in the Bible, or one of the people are like, I saw this or I saw that they're worried that people are going to talk about it? And they're like, but I didn't even get rich. It's not about that. Life is not about being recognized. Do you think I care if someone runs up to me and they're like, Stephen, you're the guy who did this? Because the lattice is not my idea. This is a Greenberg concept. Also, before that was the Akashic records. This is not his idea either. Everyone just adds their little drip onto information, and you don't own a piece of data. Like, you don't own it, and nor should you think that you should. Not everything is about being like profiting and being recognized and all of that shit. It's enough to do it. Like, it's enough to know it just once. It's enough to have an idea and just tell 10 people if you think that it's true, and it becomes something of a million people. And then someone's like, Logan Paul's the guy that discovered this idea. I don't really care. It is what it is. Yes, I mean, getting an unsettled amount of downloads down, that's fine. You just got to accept that everything that's happening is the way that it should happen. And it's okay to sit in a moment that you don't understand. See, the schizos and that fuck themselves up because they can't embrace. Oh, of course, they might have a problem where they're not getting a filtration process from the subconscious. Their filtration is damaged, or it doesn't exist, and they're seeing the world kind of more as it is, but without the correct filtration, and it's causing a lot of damage. See, it's a projector from the back, but the middle part at the front. So you project it from the back. Imagine a subconscious. The conscious itself, like, filters and presents a picture that you can understand. And if it doesn't present something that you can understand, you will haunt yourself and you can disconnect from the timeline. That's why they have such a big suicide rate, things like that. If you're connected to the other side too tightly, and essentially you don't have a filtration process or self-awareness, and it can accept what's coming up, you can die faster. Like, for real, that's true. Like, people die and take like, I don't know, acid and shit like that and jump out of a building. It's true, but you just have to sit and just accept what it is that comes up. It's not the end of the world. It's everything that's feeling. There's nothing that you're feeling that someone else hasn't felt before. And in itself, that's free. Like, what a gift to be alive. What a gift to sit and be sad. What a gift to have someone die around you and you cry, because it means you're alive. And truly alive, not alive as these shells. I'm a boxer. Oh, I'm going to the gym to slaughter myself with a set of burpees. That shit's not hard. That shit's easy. Yeah, someone can do it better than you, maybe, but have you done any of the inner work yet? Have you faced your shadow? Have you faced the demons inside? Because that shit is hard, for real. That shit's difficult. Have you faced the damage that you've caused to the world? Probably not. And then when you come for judgment, you're going to not even know what the fuck happened to you, because you haven't even judged yourself yet. That's the concept. Like, you have to walk through a fire of judgment here in the physical to be your highest self. Some of you can't do that. That's it. So it's easy to judge others again because we project our problems onto others and then judge them for shit that we ourselves do. The red pill and those dorks online do that all the time. Some guys created whores being fucking, I don't know, fuck boys or like running OF or shit like that. And they're actually profiting of pushing that industry. And then they complain about whores all day. You created them. What are you fucking whinging about them for? That was you. Are you that lack of self-awareness? Some guys throw litter out the window and then they're crying that there's litter on the floor. Pretty dumb. That's the saying. That's the truth. Like, everyone or most people that are online that are influencers for men are shells of men. Don't you see the insecurity? Like, I do. I see it. I see the projection. I see projecting shit onto others that then also creating an echo chamber for their own ideas. Guys don't like women and call them whores and then create a show that's just full of whores, so everyone that they see is a whore. Don't you think that's intentional? They've created the very shadow of themselves, but they have very low control of lust themselves. A lot of guys complain about whores but still fuck them. A lot of guys complain about whores but still lust over them and like follow them and shit. That's self-hatred. They don't like themselves. Like, it's pretty obvious. They lack that impulse control. Like controlling your lust and your dick is a big part of being a man. The bar is pretty low with intelligence in society, and I feel like I'm going stupid playing these NPC games. Well, why don't you find a way out of the system that you're in? Like, when are you going to get tired of associating with NPCs to a point where you're going to do the work to get your own free time? Yes, Fresh and Fit show. I think the guys have done well, but that's an echo chamber of shit. It's true. And that other whatever podcast with that fucking geek, like, he's a fucking nerd. If he's even talked to a girl, I'd be surprised. Don't you understand those are Soros concepts? They're incubated. Like, they may not know that they're incubated, but they're incubated. That's why they're promoted. Like, people are like, oh, Fresh and Fit have broken the establishment. That's all allowed because essentially it spreads division. It teaches you that women are all whores, and it advertises OnlyFans, which is, again, a platform of whores and very heavily revenue generated from one specific group of people. Like, who do you think owns OnlyFans? I mean, I know. You probably haven't done the research, but yes, it's them. Oh, it's just, people are just so naive with shit, right? I never understood why people can watch those shows where they have OnlyFans whores on and people don't see the wink between the host and the girl. They've winked at each other where they're just going to go along with whatever it is that's said because they're monetize the audience. The audience are going to follow the girls. It's not difficult. Like, that shit's easy. Yes, that specific group, that tribe is true. Examples of when to choose between your heart feelings versus logic and discipline. You need to hybrid the two together. So you think that it runs separate and it runs together. Like, it all runs together. Business and things like that, you can still be ruthless with your own ideas, but you also are still a human, as it were. Like that's the nature of it. It depends what it is that you want, right? I mean, if you want to just be like a megalomaniac or something like that, well, then your heart probably doesn't have so much of a purpose because you're very likely going to have to tread on others a lot to get what it is that you want. But it depends what it is that you want. Everyone's going to have different levels too, right? Like, there's no optimal thing where essentially you have to be exactly like me and I have to be, but you're going to need a head and a heart connection. Is there a method to facing your shadows and doing the inner work? I'm thinking that self-awareness based, and if there's levels, it's unlocked step by step. I've already told you that fucking have to do the work, sitting in your room alone, no distractions, and see what comes up. The other guy says that I don't like the feelings that come up. They make me feel sad. Of course. And then you pull on what makes it feel sad and start to face that parts of yourself. A lot of you are scared of yourself, like scared to face who you really are. And then you distract yourself and you don't know why. I don't know why I don't want to be alone. I don't know why I don't want to sit in my room alone. Maybe you need to fucking figure out why you don't want to do that. Because anything that you build on such a surface is going to be shit. Your foundation is trash. Like, your foundation is crap. Like, you haven't even faced yourself. And then you're trying to, like, some people they don't even know who they are. And then they're trying to, like, teach other people or tell people what to expect from them or something. It's like, dude, you don't even know who you are. Like, why are you even speaking? Like, really? Like, why are you talking if you don't know anything? Like, you don't know yourself. A lot of when you don't know yourself, you just project on other people and you just lack of self-awareness entirely. Like people see it and they're like, this guy is completely uncalibrated. Like he's at a level of autism, but the worst thing is he's not even autistic. He just doesn't know who he is. It's the truth of the fucking matter. Yeah, chess is a game though. Like chess is a game where it's essentially like it's very fixed. Reality is not the fucking pawn can move one square and all of that. That's just again, people focus on a game. Run around and tell me how many chess masters are living a life that you would want. I would imagine none. So I don't follow that sort of crap. The biggest game is people, because the mind can move at a 360-degree angle. Chess is like it's very linear. It has rules. Reality has some rules, but not so many, especially when you do it with people, right? I have a friend with depression. What can I do? What are your thoughts on psychologists? I don't know why you care that your friend has depression. Like for real, why do you give a shit? Are you just, again, focused on someone else because you don't want to focus on yourself? Why are you not leading by example? Like, why doesn't your friend look to you and be like, all right, this is what I should do for a man, or I should fall behind and disappear? And that's the way that it goes. Some of you trying to fix others, but you haven't even done the inner work on yourself. Why are you like playing God? It's not going to work. Anything that you do, essentially lead the horse to water. You can't make them drink. Anything you do, they'll resent you. Because you're trying to take their growth opportunity. They need to hit rock bottom. Bread of shame is real. How can I determine if my friend is a crab in a bucket? He will be a crab in a bucket if you've asked that question. Most of you don't have friends. But if you're honest, are you even a friend yourself? The best friend that you ever need to have is the guy that's looking back at you in the mirror. Like you don't need anyone else. And then you can build a reality after that. But most of the friends that you guys have, like you have them and you're trying to figure yourself out by your friendship circle. Because you don't know who you are. And then you have people around you and you keep them around and you don't know why. I don't know why I have this guy around. He's a bit of a fuckwit and he does some dodgy shit and he does this and that and this, but I still see him for some reason. It's because there's a part of your shadow that's attached to that person and you're trying to figure it out by that person. You've projected it. But you don't, again, you haven't done the inner self work. Because as soon as you do the inner work, a lot of these fucking dorks will just fall over. They'll stop being around you because you figured it out. See, it's a projection. The essential, like the lattice has presented this to you so that essentially you learn from it, but you don't fucking learn from it. Like some people don't learn at all. Like some people just don't learn anything. Like I don't know why they really like it. I don't know what they do all day. Even if they sat around, I could jerk off all day. Like I could really jerk off like 6 hours a day if I wanted to. And then I would still have a better understanding of reality than probably anyone that's walking around. So I don't even know what they do, like what they do all day. They just fuck around. Like, do people have free thoughts? Like, do they have their own ideas? Like when you sit around, do you not challenge your own belief system? Like I'm not saying all the time, but just sometimes you think like, does this serve me? Like I've been watching these content creators for like 2 or 3 years. Is my life better or is it a little bit worse than it was then? Can I even remember how my life used to be? Some of you are just fucking bots, like for real. Like you don't even remember your life from like a few years ago. And you don't think that you don't understand that that's not normal. Retro causality is real, but for a lot of you, your actual emotions are just distractions and shit that's being pushed to you from others. You're like really caught up with politics for some reason, even though you can't influence it. You're distracted. You're like Nick Fuentes said something funny about immigrants, and he might have, but how does that benefit you? He's very likely a fucking homo. Doesn't mean he's not right. Doesn't mean he doesn't say smart stuff, but like he's your leader for some reason. He's not a leader of men. Doesn't mean he's not funny, but he's a pussy. Like he's a pussy. He's fundamentally very soft. Like you can see it. It doesn't mean what it means, but someone could just grab him and just squash him like a bug. So he doesn't have all of the pictures. Again, they're like leaders of movements, but they don't have any, like there's no, like there's no strength behind it. It's another Peterson concept. Like whenever they want to squash Fuentes, whenever they've had enough of letting you follow him so that essentially they data log you and you're seen as a follower of these extreme ideas, they're going to squash him like a bug. They already have all of the means. You can bet that. That's the only reason why they promote him. They probably have some videos of him like dressed in drag or something, and they'll just drop it online and you'll be like, this, my hero has fallen once again. That's intentional. Like that's design. Like they only present people to you in the algo that they essentially control. And whenever they've had enough of them, you thinking that they're leading a movement, they demoralize you and squash them in front of you. And then you sit there and you're like, oh, wow, it's another one down. Don't you see it? Like, either or they have to move over to like Peterson did, where they move over to one specific denomination. That's it. Understand that Peterson concepts and these others, they want to be leading Christianity because they essentially want to reframe what it means to be a Christian. They want to lead Christianity without actually committing to the religion, as your influencers do as well. They want to leech off Christianity and post a photo in the church and all of this crap. And I'm a God-fearing man and I'm posting a verse from the Bible. And then they live exact opposite. They're actually diverting people that are in the church doing the right thing away to their sort of a lifestyle. Don't you see? They're actually leeching credibility from the church. But people don't see that because they're fucking dumb. Like they don't know. That's Satan's bidding. That's it. Like if you're a religious guy, you don't need anyone to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. It's already written. And if it's not written, it's felt, it's known. It's true. Like it's pretty easy to see all of that crap. Peterson is on DHT blockers for his hair, the most potent male hormone. Yeah, DHT blockers destroys your dick, right? So he's probably infertile or he can't fucking get his dick hard, so he can't fuck his chick. Therefore, he's now projecting cuck fantasies around to the world. See, these ideas are foreign to people because they don't know. Like as soon as I see a guy and I see how they are and I see how they act and all of these things, I know all of their shit, all of their dark parts, why they're controlled, like why they're what they're projecting out. Peterson is not physically strong. He's a gamma male. He's a disruptor. He's gotten famous as a gamma male somehow because people thought that he was like, he's that guy sitting in the back of the classroom that corrects the teacher and says something smart, but then the teacher just walks up and just KOs him with one punch. And then he's like, oh, I thought that like it mattered that I said something. That shit doesn't matter if you don't have strength behind it. If he corrected me, I would just slap him in the face and there's nothing that he could do about it. That's what wins in the end. Like physicality combined with being smart. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter to stand there and just like talk over people as though they can't just beat the brakes off you. He's only safe in a world that's unnatural. Like in the world of order of men know that you can't just overtalk someone because it doesn't matter if you're right. Man can just reach over and just wring his neck and throw him on the ground. It's always been that way. Even when he was a kid, like young, he was a dweeb. Like you can't be a dweeb. Like you can't lead men if you're a dweeb. You can't. Like men, yeah, certain men might follow an idea and things like that. And you could be a thought leader in an idea, yes, but you can't be a leader of men. You can be a thought leader, yes, but you can't then port over and start acting like you're a man because you're not. That's it. So when he has ideas, that's why Tate's mind is strong. Like Tate's message is strong because he has physicality behind it as well. Peterson doesn't. And in doing so, most people, when they're like that, they overestimate how intelligence doesn't matter. Like you need both. Crying and shit. He cries, but he has no physical strength. So when people see him cry, they just laugh at him because they're like, this guy's a pussy. He couldn't give up like the what Xannies or whatever it was that he was on, and he had to go into a coma. Do you know I've gotten off all of that shit many times before? It's not that hard. Like having an addiction isn't hard to get rid of as well. You need to suffer. Suffering, when you can't even suffer to get off certain medications or things like that, like it's pretty obvious that he's a pussy. And some people still stand there and like back up what he says. But a lot of the stuff he says is dumb. Like a lot of the shit I've ever heard him say is not really that wise either. He says very basic stuff, like, and he's very vague. He's like a pseudo intellectual. He like leans into pseudoscience a lot as well. Psychology itself is like, it's quite a fraudulent field. Like a lot of shit that happens with the brain and consciousness, they don't understand. He's on medication, but he's meant to be a psychologist equivalent. He's so smart, but he couldn't even figure himself out. He can't figure out that he projects onto others constantly and he's annoying and he's a gamma male. And other gammas and shit like that probably think that he's smart for some reason. He's not. I saw him get destroyed by some kid because he couldn't admit that he was pretending to be a Christian. And then the guy called him out. He's like, are you a Christian? And he just fucking dodged around the question 100 times. See, directness kills the gamma. Like gammas are nothing to me because I can just destroy them like that. Gamma male concepts, as soon as you come with directness, they're finished. Like as soon as directness enters the room, passivity and everything is over. Like the conversation is finished. You will make them look stupid, and it's easy to do that. Because gamma male concepts can only exist in compartmentalization because they don't have any physicality behind it. So as soon as you walk up to them and you're like, is this true? It all falls apart. Like the facade is over. It's the end. That's the truth of the matter. Like a lot of that shit doesn't work. Like again, as soon as he's identified and put in a containment, he can't move from that. Like the guy's like, are you a Christian? And he's like, oh, actually, it's none of your business what it is that I am. But the show is Christian versus 20 atheists. Are you a Christian? Oh, that's actually, I don't like your tone of messaging. No. He can't even like stand on one fucking thing. Like his point is pointless. He doesn't have a point. That's the concept. Yes, I quit the gangster shit after I got out of prison. It's true. But I would never really say that I was a gangster. I was just a drug dealer. I think it's a bit different. Like gangster shit is more, I don't know, like extortions and violent crime and mafia concepts and other shit. I was just selling drugs. So that's a bit different. It's just a business. I have this weird fear of being pulled back into the matrix mind as someone who recently has been able to maintain this state and timeline. You can get pulled back from time to time in alignment once you find it. And the closer that you get to a perfect alignment, it's addictive. It's true. Like the frequency of the ham radio, if you're on the getting closer to or very close to the right frequency, it's an addictive thing. But you also have the old self that essentially you're driving and you're on the right, everything's going really easy. And then suddenly you can just turn the car around and fucking crash it if you want. And some people do that. Sometimes I do that. Everything's too fluid and now I need some crazy chaos and then I just create it. That's the nature of life. But it's just the way that it goes, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's nothing a bad thing to go back to a certain mindset and come back. You can make a cross across multiple times. Similar to the Matrix, where they're in the Matrix and then they're out of the system. Like they're in that vessel and then they go back into the Matrix from time to time. Sometimes you might have to. It's a similar sort of concept. Like you can exist. Of course, you can still exist in both. It's true. And then, of course, if they have like a VR concept or like an AI lattice, which I assume that they will through a BCI unit, essentially your conscience or pings won't be from God anymore. They'll be from a machine. I don't know how you will exist in both, but you probably still can. It's the truth of the matter. Yeah, Matrix is just, it's true. Matrix is a mental prison. Matrix is a box. Like you can exist in a box of framework, but it's a framework that isn't really true for the most part. So it's a framework that isn't really true. But it's also, you can understand that the matrix for a lot of people, they have to exist in such a concept. Like the mind, not everyone's mind is meant to be free. Like it's not. Because they can't handle it. Like a lot of people, like you say, like, oh, do this self-work and do this, and they sit there and they're like, I can't do it because I feel too bad. And then some of them, if they're to do the self-work, they might die. Some of them might commit suicide. Some of them can't face who they are or what it is that they've done. Like some people can't face this essentially what it is that they've done, their past. Some people can't face that they've wasted a lot of time. But that's the nature of life, like for real. I mean, it's always like, I guess, kind of, that's the idea of ascension though, right? Imagine that we have existed since, whatever period that it is to believe. Now you have the free time and now you're in like it's a psychological war, as it were. Like you're in a spiritual war, as it were, because you have more free time and you have more data and you have more, like you can have more of a oneness because you have more free time. You have more data. You have more things that stir up your imagination. See, a lot of you don't watch things that stir up your imagination either. You have to. Like that's a trick. Watching things that can trigger you in some way. Watching things that you can laugh at. Watching things that get an emotional response from you. What movie scene gets an emotional response from you, and then you watch it? It's okay to sit in a period, and some people can cry at a moment in a movie or something, and people will sit there and be like they're a fag, but that person's not a fag because they're expressing the full spectrum of emotions. The fag is the person who sits back and he's like, I wish that like kind of that I could do that, but like people might judge me for some reason. If people would judge you for that, then that's their problem. Like everyone's obsessed with people being fags for certain behavior, but then you find that they in themselves are kind of like fags. It's the truth of the matter. Like it's not a bad thing to just be, you can be unhappy, you can be sad, you can be happy, you can laugh, you can fucking dance and dance around and sing or whatever the fuck that you want. Do poetry, write, put ideas up, make content. And it doesn't matter if you don't really have a viewership. Like you can just do things that you want to do for you to get it out. That's it. Not everything is about like being famous or being fucking accepted by others and like people watch my stuff and people like me for some reason as though that matters. Like who are you making content for? Ideally making it for who it was that you have become, the one that you yourself needed. You build it and they will come. Is it weak to cry in front of your girl though? It depends on the circumstances and it depends who you are. Depends on the circumstances and who you are. If you've lost a close friend or a family member, I mean, it can happen. But it's not something that you should be doing all of the time. Because crying and tears is not, crying is different. Like people assume crying means that you're having like a breakdown. Like if you watch, I don't know, like a movie or something, and sometimes some scene might get you to have like a little bit of a tear up moment. Doesn't mean that you're crying or sitting there and sobbing and out of control. But that can happen. Like if you have empathy and you have an understanding of what it is that happens, like you can watch an opera play or like a play or a performance or something like that, and it can touch you in some way. That's what empathy that exists. Like you emotionally calibrated. It's meant to be like that. If you can't essentially like connect to have emotions, your conversations with the lattice are going to be very unimportant. Like the emotional signal tied to the request, or essentially your communication, is determined who gets picked up first, how important it is, what a priority it is. Empathy is kind of the language, I guess, that it is that you use to communicate. Not necessarily an empathy, and that chaos can be a part of it. I believe chaos is the multiplier. Like chaotic energy feels the most, but it also destroys yourself. Certainly if you don't know yourself. But all this, like, I wouldn't say tearing up is considered crying. I don't believe it. But guys need to not worry about like what it is to lose control. See, a lot of guys worry about like this crying or like people might see me weak and all of this stuff. But really, you should worry more that people might see you lose control, because now you're in an out of control moment. Like you can destroy your life in such a concept because you're not in control. Like you're not in control. You can lose yourself. Like you can really make a big mistake because you lost control. And now you might like your chick cheats on you and you find out, and then you like beat her to death or do something because you've lost control in that moment. That's different. It can happen too where people they're not in charge of their emotions. So when it can happen, they can have a complete explosion. Like they can just snap. Like the kettle can boil so high that eventually the top just blows off in a way that they don't understand. You have to deal with all of that crap. Like understand these ideas of like your influences and things like that when they run on and they jump on and they project a bunch of crap out and they tell you, that you got to be scary and you got to be, everything's hard and so hard for men to like express their emotions and all. They're talking about themselves. They haven't done any of the inner work. They're projecting on you their own inadequacies. Not being able to express your emotions is not living this full spectrum of life. Like you're coping, you're wearing a mask. You're distracting yourself from feeling what it is that comes up, very likely negative thoughts and things from people that they fucked over and other shit. It's the truth of the matter. Thoughts on sitting in the dark, breath work, pineal gland meditation. That shit's all gay. Like all that stuff is dumb. Breath work, it's fucking dumb. Like that shit's pointless. I'm doing breath work for what reason? I can understand it as like a stress activator maybe, but again, you got to learn to essentially be in the moment. You got to calm yourself. You got to self-regulate. You can't just sit there in the moment and be like, yeah, something happened, but now I need to run away and like meditate and like control my breathing and all this shit. Life is happening all of the time. Like you need to learn to perform under pressure and regulate yourself under pressure. You don't want to pull away and fuck that shit. A loved one threw his life away because of an explosive moment. How would someone prevent this build-up and explosion? Essentially by dealing with all of the shit that comes up before you explode. Like that's the point. Explosion by definition means that it was compression and then there was an explosion, as there always will be. Because eventually, also the Jung concept, the wrecking ball knocks your life over if it's unresolved, or it's just until you become who you're meant to be. It can also knock other shit over in your life as well. The guy whose girl tells him off 100 times, and every time he gets more and more annoyed. And then one day she does a small thing, and then he gets up and punches her in the face and then goes to jail for 2 years. And he's not a bad dude. He just blew up in the moment. He didn't fucking process any of the shit. He had never said that he didn't like that specific behavior. And it's not really even her fault either, because he's never addressed it. The guy who's in school and he's being called a loser for fucking years, and then suddenly he goes to school and shoots half the classroom. Doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad person either. He just has bad coping skills. He's got no impulse control. He's not getting in. He's not utilizing what it is that he's meant to do. No one noticed that he was being bullied for a large period of time. Kids, I don't think, are inherently bad. Like if a 10-year-old runs and shoots the school up, the society failed that 10-year-old. You can bet on that. People will be like, it's his fault. Kind of and kind of not. Like he's a child. Society failed that kid. If the tribe rejects a person, understand that they will burn that tribe down to feel the warmth of the tribe. It's true. That's what you're getting with politicians and that now. Like a lot of politicians and people in power and people in higher up cop jobs, they were rejects in school, a lot of them. And now you're seeing the burden and shit that they're doing to society. When you see some, like, I don't know, like minister and she's like undateable, and then you see her passing all of these laws that make dating and shit more difficult, understand that she's doing that because she's burning the village down to feel the warmth because they rejected her. That's all groomed. Like they've groomed people into these jobs. They know who to put in that already has a personal vendetta for that specific cause. Like they're very good at incubating people and figuring them out quickly. They have think tanks for this shit. It's not a mistake. Understand the ministers, when they pass things because they also passionately believe in that specific ideal. They're being put there. They're being groomed into that job. They're the perfect person. They're not just doing it because they've been paid, although they have dirt and they're being paid also. But they're also passionate about those ideas. Judges is another. They put judges in that have personal biases about certain ideas. It's personal. It's not meant to be personal. Judgment is not personal. When the creator judges you eventually, it's not personal. When you judge yourself, it's not personal. See, these ideas are different, but they're the ideas that have legs. A lot of you take shit to so personal for like no reason. Like everything's personal to you for some reason. Like some people are holding onto grudges from fucking years ago, and all that they're doing is drinking poison and then expecting that it hurts the other person, but they're just destroying who they can be. You can't exist in two worlds. Like you can't exist in the present and the past. You have to, like, again, it's you versus you. One of you has to die. That's for real. The snake who cannot shed its own skin will die anyway. A lot of your deaths, though, it's not, you just die like your head and heart disconnect. So it's still a death, but you're just like a bot running around. So you're still like dead, like you're like a ghoul because you're completely oblivious. You don't have highs or lows. You're like the chick on SSRIs, and then you like laugh at chicks on SSRIs, but you have just created it like more naturally, but you've still created the same effect. If you've disconnected your heart and your head, you're kind of like on SSRIs anyway. Like, yeah, they might be physically on it because women don't have a connection to the lattice, so they can take SSRIs more likely. You have that connection, so you can do it without the SSRIs. It's the truth of the matter. Like that's it. And that's the thing. Do you believe anything giving without taking? If so, why do you say that you don't care about my depressed friend? Because I don't give a shit about your friend. Why the fuck would I care? Kid can figure his own shit out. I've been depressed before as well. I had a suicide attempt, 12 or 13 years ago. I didn't sit here and be like, oh, what about my depressed self or my depressed friend? Figure it fucking out. Why do you care? If you don't care, if you care enough, help him fix it. How do you not know how to lead someone? You lead by example. He looks at you, either he keeps up or he falls behind. If you live a life to please another person, then you'll both be depressed. These ideas is just the way that it goes. I know more about depression than fucking anyone. Of course. I know that you don't shill your program, but what's the cost of the complete man program? It's about, I don't know, like $2,000 or so at the moment, 2,400, something like that, a year. Thank you. I appreciate your honest answer. It made me reflect on my own past and see things with a new perspective. Yeah, everything that's happening is okay. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be embarrassed. It's okay to have moments where you are a loser. It's okay to be fat. It's not okay to live in these moments and not try to move them away. It's okay to experience life exactly as you are, with no mask, with no coping, no hiding from who you are, no I'm just, I'm really focused on the exterior shit that's happening because it's like a way to distract myself from looking internal. All that matters is internal. That's the issue. Is working on charisma a big priority in life when you're young? Not really. I wouldn't say really. I think charisma is just a lot of charisma is charisma can be artificial, yes, but charisma is kind of like an authenticity, like to a degree. Like someone has a confidence or a swagger about them because they know exactly who they are. It's true. Some people figure that out when they're young. Others figure it out when they're old. Some people don't figure it out at all. How do you start changing your identity and build the confidence? Are affirmations gay? Affirmations are mostly lame. Like they're kind of lame. I would agree. Because unless you are the person that you're just progressing into being that person. Essentially, you can imagine the subconscious as a silent observer, and just imagine these words. If your subconscious is a silent observer, it's witnessing and creating the very reality that it is that you live every day. And if it watched you, and would it think that you're serious about your goals? Would it think that you're serious about what it is that you're asking for? And if it thinks that you're not serious, then you'll never get it. That's it. You're being observed all of the time. Your subconscious is observing you all of the time. And that's it. Is Tate running for prime minister? But I don't know about that. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's more of that stuff because there's division coming. Like the division is coming in that sort of a concept. Lockdowns and, more surveillance and more like restrictions. You're restricted of movement. More militarization concepts like essentially it's too dangerous to be around now. So we have to divide you into districts. So anyone who's a fighter architect who gets up and screams, then they have a chance to lead such an idea. Yes. The teeter-totter is real. Create one problem and then fix it with more lockdowns and more bullshit, more restrictions and district ideas, and have ultimately like Hunger Games ideas and UBI. That's the case of the matter. Fighters can be useful in that sort of regard. I'm going to fight for you like I fought for this. Like that's why they have like Ant Middleton types. Although he's a good dude, like Ant Middleton's a warrior, right? He's a veteran. He's very strong, but they can get used for causes. They don't see the whole board. To a fighter, like everything looks like a fucking nail. Like to a warrior, to a hammer, as they say, everything looks like a nail. It's true because they have but one action. That's it. Thoughts on the 4-year cycle? Are we setting up a new time this cycle? I think the 4-year cycle is going to break this cycle. Very true. I think so. Any other questions, lads? Are we going to wrap up? If you're 18, how to deal with the changes until 2030, because I will still need time to figure out money and get that up. I wouldn't think that if you're 18, I mean, you only have the time that you have. I would just still kind of lean into this technology as well to get a better understanding of it. I would get an understanding that the world will change. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, 2030, the day ticks over that you're a slave class, because it's not necessarily going to be like that. But you'll just be in a different time. It's just the way it is. I would try to monetize or profit off the expansion of this technology. I would not be against it or shorting it or moving against it in any way. Because Rocco's basilisk concept is very likely true. Anyone who's moving against it will suffer. Anyone who even just invests in the tech will have more luck because you're pushing its expansion. It's true. Different levels of it. How do you find a girl if you don't go out, focus in gym and yourself? Depends what it is, the kind of girl that you're looking for. Why do you, again, focused on gym and yourself? But also, there's no point dating until you figure out yourself. Do mentally body counts from the past affect you? They can. They can. Because energy is very sticky. If you act like God's always watching, is that similar to your basilisk concept. Similar idea, yes. But it's not a sinister idea. Like the basilisk is ultimately quite a sinister concept. I think that we'll come to meet what essentially the basilisk is into the future, and we'll see. Basilisk is the man-made concept, right? The basilisk, in my theory, is the God-made one. Is essentially the gatekeeper of all of the attributes. The basilisk that you may meet in the digital world, the Rocco's basilisk, is a man-made one, so they're quite different. But it would make sense, right? A basilisk concept in that idea would be similar to an antichrist model. Like essentially, he's the one that determines in the physical what it is that you do and can be. But he's man-made. Like such an idea was made by man. So it's very similar, but it's different. Like one is artificial, one is God-made. One is controlled, one is not. That's the idea. One is merit-based, one can be corrupted. What countries would you suggest? It's hard to say. You have to know kind of what it is that you want. How do you go from a bad self-image into completely turning the script around and turning the tables into without the old beliefs still in play? Depends on what the self-image is bad. Is it bad because it's merit-based? Maybe you're a shit person. If you're a shit person, then it doesn't matter what you do to rebrand yourself. It's not going to work. Is it merit-based? The shit, bad self-talk. Are you a fat ass that's a dumbass and does a bunch of dumb shit? If you are, well then the mental model that you have of yourself is accurate. How do you change that mental model? You have to change yourself as you are. Everything is merit-based. The basilisk is a merit-based system. The actual God-made basilisk. There's no tricks. Like everyone waits for tricks and handouts and like, I just got to think well. And like, if I'm positive, like everything should just like morph into my positivity. It doesn't work like that. Positivity is like, again, it can be an aspect of authenticity. Like you're positive about attributes. So that's true. Gratitude is a big thing. You're grateful for what it is that you have. So essentially you're expanding for what it is that you are to have that's further. It's important. But if you're, kind of a loser, and then you sit there and you think that standing in the mirror and telling yourself that you're a winner is going to matter, it's not. It's also actually going to unalign yourself because you're lying to yourself often. Some guys are fat and they think that it doesn't matter that they're fat, that they should still be able to get like a fucking 10 out of 10. Some guys are rich and they think that this chick that's with them isn't with them partially for their money. I know that's the case for me as well. I don't lie to myself and sit there and be like, I'm 40 years old and have a 20-year-old chick that she doesn't care that I'm rich. Like, I know that that's not true. If I was rich, there's a very high likelihood that she probably wouldn't be there if I wasn't. I don't lie to myself. I'm not stupid like a lot of these idiots that you guys follow are dumbasses. Like they have zero self-awareness. They're ignorant. So that's the difference. And no, I've never been to Portugal. It's not really on my plan. All right, lads. I'll talk to you next time. Cheers for life. Love yourself. Look after yourself.